What are my angle measures? I just said never mind. They are 60. How did you know the angles were 60? Thank you, Starla.
Yeah, Starla. Actually, it's a regular triangle.
Yeah, all triangles.
It is.
Up to 180 to be drilled down.
You know what? I did drill that in. I did drill that into your head, but some people still don't know that fact.
All I hear is you like I'm saying all triangles will be up to 180.
And they do. Now, every equilateral triangle is also equiangular, thus making it regular. And every equilateral triangle has 60-degree angles. 60 degrees. Today, this is 4.6. I don't think I bothered to label the section. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, not 4.6. It's 4.7. 4.7. Now, the entirety of 4.7 is based around one fact. Just like how in an equilateral triangle, congruent sides imply that their angles are congruent, you can also do that for an isosceles triangle. Ooh, quiet person time. Cameron, what is an isosceles triangle? No, you're not Cameron. What is an isosceles triangle? Oh no, really? Elon, what is an isosceles triangle? Shh. What does that mean? That may be true, but I don't know what that means. Okay, blah blahs, I'm going to pick somebody. Jensen, you going to go again? What is an isosceles triangle? That's right. A triangle with two sides being congruent. Now, let me just give you a hint of what today's going to be. If two sides are congruent, what do you think we can say about their angles? There's going to be two of those angles that are congruent. Very good. Here we go. Now, before we get into that, a little vocab. A little vocab. Every isosceles triangle has two legs and a base. Now, the angles opposite those legs, and when I say opposite, I mean it's like the only side not touching those legs, are called the base angles because they're connected to the base and they correspond with the two legs. So that's just a little bit of vocab and you're going to understand the next two theorems. Really, there's just one theorem, but one of them is a converse of the other. But we need to look at both. Listen, Morris. Okay. I'm going to give people a moment to write that down. If they choose to do so, you do not have to.
No, sir.
Cool. Two legs, a base, and therefore you have two base angles and a vertex angle. No.
I
hate being black and white. I'm not answering something. I get it. I get somebody talk over that.
Okay. You good? All right. Base angle theorem. If two sides of a triangle are congruent, therefore making an isosceles. You're getting too silly. We're wasting time. I am. If two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the opposite angles are congruent. That's what that says. Soak it in. You are going to need that on a proof. Now, you don't have to write that word for word, but you are going to need to know that theorem 4.7 is the base angle theorem, which I will probably normally just call BAC. And it says that if two sides are congruent, then their opposite angles are congruent. Now, going by what we have already learned about converses, who thinks they can tell me what the 4.7 converse theorem is going to say? Give you a hint. Every theorem converse does almost the exact same thing, but it's by twist. It's hint. Not quite. Not quite. No, not quite, but I like where your head's at. What did this one say? This one said, now I'll note, you see the if-then portion at the bottom of that? A converse will say the exact same thing, just in a different order. Now this one says, if the sides are congruent, then the angles are congruent. So what do you think the converse is going to say? Yes, Stacy. Very good. The 4.7 converse, or 4.8, is going to say if the angles are congruent, then the sides are congruent. Now I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a test question. There will be, maybe multiple, that says, how do you know that these sides or these angles are congruent? And there is going to be the theorem and the converse. That's two options, and you're going to have to know which is which. If they give you the sides, and you have to figure out the angles, that is the theorem. If they give you the angles, and you have to figure out the sides, that is the converse. There is a difference. It may seem petty and stupid, but that's kind of the whole point of geometry, is to get you to appreciate little technicalities. Technicalities? Believe it or not, that's the end of the notes. Everything else we're going to do is examples. Now, I'm going to pass out your assignment / where we're going to do our examples from, and that's right, we're going to do them straight from your assignment. Now, the foolish person will immediately take this and start working on it, because there are some on here that are easy enough to do. The wise person will take this, put your number on it, and wait. That way, they're paying attention when we do the examples, because if someone raises their hand and asks me about one of the examples we're about to do, I'm not going to help. Pay attention, and we're going to do some of the harder ones together. Jensen, would you be so kind to pass one of those out to everybody? Thank you. It is a two-sided worksheet, and it copied really funky, but they're all on there. It is a two-sided worksheet, and they copied really funky, and I apologize. We are eventually going to use our books again. I know we haven't used our books for assignments in like weeks. Well, trees like for me to use the book. I know. That's why we're going to go back to the book, just for the trees. Okay. What's up, sir? Our examples. That is a picture that I took outside of my plane window once. That is the clouds looking down on them. I was above them. Thank you. I don't know if I got quite that carried away. I felt like I was dead, walking on clouds, thinking, where is the milkshake stand? Okay. First off, now I cut off part of them. Everybody find this side of your worksheet. Does everybody find this side of your worksheet? No. Well, I reckon you can figure out. I'll tell you what. We'll do one problem per section. So, 5 through 7. 5 through 7. Somebody pick one to do. 7. Okay. Because I said, it doesn't matter. They're all easy. 5 through 7. What do you think that's going to equal? That's right. That uses, now, here's something else I want you to do. For 5 through 7, I want you to tell me base angles theorem or converse. Which one is this? It is the converse because they gave you the angles. Whereas number 6 would be the theorem because they gave you the sides. So 18 by the base angles, converse. BAC, base angles, converse, yes. Alright. Pick one, 8 through 13. We're finding the value of x. 13 definitely looks the hardest. Now, this is straight from your assignment, so you'd be very foolish not to be writing this down as we do it. Number 13. Now, somebody raise your hand and tell me what I can assume about those two angles. One of these. Sorry, I didn't see the hands I was hoping for. Rachel, what can I assume about those two angles? They are congruent. And Rachel, what do I do with two things that are congruent? That's exactly what I do. So we're going to set these things equal. I don't care. Subtract the x. Subtract 5. Now what do I do? I do, don't I? Divide both sides by 6. Therefore making my x equal to 7. Now it didn't ask us for the angles, it just asked us for x, so you could stop right there. Although, on a test it may ask you for the angle, so make sure you read the directions. Speaking of tests, it'll be, what day is today? It'll be Friday, will be your test. Your test will be Friday. We have one more section due tomorrow, we'll review on Thursday, and Friday's your test. We've taken like 4 weeks for this chapter, so I think that's fair. Okay. Questions on that one? That's the kind of logic you're going to have to use. Okay, next worksheet. Flip it over. I will do one of those. Now, 7 and 8, by the way, I'm just going to tell you now, if you want to mark it on your worksheet, 7 and 8 are going to be bonus. You do not have to do them, but if you choose to do them and they're done accurately, they will be bonus. Now, one of these. Pick one of these. All right. I heard 2, 4, 5, and 6. I think I heard 5 the most often. 4, 5, and 6 are only tricky because there are multiple triangles at work. So those you're probably going to have to discuss with people around you and make deductive reasoning conclusions. Now I heard number 5, so that's the one we're going to do. Numeral 50. I think that's Spanish. No? No? Okay. Okay. Do we know any angles of the top triangle at all? No. But, what is this angle going to equal on the bottom one? Or on the top triangle, what is this angle going to equal? Same as what? You're right. So, even though we don't know what any of them mean individually, do we know a formula for all 3 of them? What should all 3 of those angles add up to in a triangle, Cameron? Cameron, nobody else but Cameron? Well, yeah, but what do all 3 angles in a triangle add up to? Lena! I'm coming back to you, Cameron. You're not off the hook. Very good. They add up to 180. Now, what do we do things that add up to 180? We add them to 180. Very good. So this angle plus, how many 2x plus 11s are there? There's 2 of them. So we add all of that to 180. Because even though we don't have any angles specifically, they only use one variable, so we can solve it. So all 3 of them add to 180. So 1x plus 2x plus 2x is 5x. 11 plus 11 is 22 minus 2 is 20. All I did so far was add all my like terms. That's it. Now, where do I go from here? I'm going to have you trained by the end of the semester. Very good. Subtract 20. Now, someone other than Lena. Elijah, what do I do now? That's right, divide by 5. That was not funny. And thank you. X is 32. Now are we done? No, we're not. We still have to do Y. Now, I swear to goodness, nobody better answer this but Cameron. Cameron, what do all angles in a triangle add up to? Very good. Now, eeny, meeny, miny, who have I called on that's normally pretty quiet? Justin. What angles does it tell us in this bottom one? No. The very bottom one, which is 142. And they tell us this is Y. Now, what's this one going to be? Justin and only Justin. You're right. It's also going to be Y because of the base angles theorem. So, all right, Lena, I'm going to give you a chance. Lena, answer the question I asked you. How do you set up solving for Y? You're jumping, you're skipping steps. Don't all three of these add up to 180? Must go faster. Hey, hey, hey. Now, what were you saying? Subtract the 142? That's what I'm doing. That's true. And what does y equal?
I don't know because you have to do the shift to the left.
Oh, well, I apologize. Blake, what does y equal? Miss Smothers, what does y equal? Close. No cigar.
Wait.
19. Thank you, Donovan. That's what you're going to be asked to do. That's what you need to do now. You have over an hour. This is due before you